Thanks for staying with us. I want to respond to Nymat. Madam SUG. You see, the issue I have is the fact that you said because there is a student government, they should be able to fight for these kinds of things. And that's where I disagree with you. I, Murayo, I was president of the student government in my first college, Mercer County Community College. Go and check it, 1997 to 1998. I was president. I was also president of the African Union in Rutgers University called TWESE. The only thing we're doing is organizing outreaches to the poor, outreaches to help people, to collecting clothes, to help motherless babies, to help giving out medical supplies. That is what our business was, or getting people organized to raise funds, to do cookie, what we know that they always do in campuses. It is wrong for us to expect a student government to be fighting for them to fix leaking roofs, or to be fighting for them to do the right thing. They are supposed to do it. There was the time I went to speak, Nima, at a school. When I entered the place I was supposed to speak, first of all, there was no air conditioner. There were cobwebs everywhere. The chairs were broken, and I was on stage, and I was in a university. And before I started, I said, first of all, I want you guys to look around you. This is an anomaly. This thing you are seeing is an anomaly. You shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be talking to you in this kind of condition because you are the future. Somebody should have had the vision to create an enabling environment for you to have people to come and speak in your schools. So it is wrong for us to think it is okay for students to be fighting for things that schools should ordinarily provide. So that burden is too much to put on students. That's where I have an issue.
No. In Nigerian universities, that's where you get it wrong. Student union are a pressure group. The National Association of Nigerian Students is a pressure group. Showore is an example of what the National Association of Nigerian Students can be back then in Uniland. They moved for change. They compelled people in offices to do the right thing, to change things. If the schools are leaking today, I remember back then, even in our school, when they watered down the SUG. Our SUG was not to go and donate. We were not a charity group. We were a Luther continua. If you hear well, some of us, I was almost rusticated. No, but to learn how can you be creative? How can you fix Nigeria? There's one language that one of our says for the larger world. That the university system is supposed to prepare you for the real world. Is that what Showore is? Showore they go contest for presidency. You know they see him. Don't you need someone to fix our country? He started from there. Yes, he started from there. Back there, before student union were watered, what was Wole Soyinka's group, which some people played down. I don't want to call it the group. Pirates. But they were an influencer group. They compelled students and governments and school admins to do the right thing. So Nigerian student union groups are a core important pressure group in society. Let me take this call. Sorry, I thought it was just a student government. Let me take it's not not a private university.
Abimbola, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah,
are you there?
Morning, Murayo and the lady.
Please, I need some volume.
Sorry, Abimbola.
I just want to make a quick comment.
Well, can't hear him.
This is unfortunate that Kemi, wherever he speaks in the house there, he lambasts Nigerian people and the government of Nigeria. Another national had become a prime minister of this same country. The immediate past prime minister of this country was minority ethnic. He did not say a single bad word about his country or his people in diaspora. I don't know why it is always we Africans that will put down on our things, on our own system. And she's not a prime minister yet. She's only acting as a leader of the Tory party. I wonder what she will say if she becomes a prime minister. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
If you want to go by what Nymat read before, that what she said when she was at Adegoke, to what she said when she's in Badenoch, something happened, and I blame the Nigerians and America. Maybe in the UK, something happened, something triggered. No. There's something happened between they did something. They did something.
You know when you're seeing an
and I think we need to go and investigate because when she was at Adegoke, she was speaking well to Nigerians. Then she became a Badenoch. Something else happened. Something triggered that.
You need a means to an end. Probably she already knew what she wanted to do, and she wanted to play on the minds of people, which is what most of our politicians do too.
It's too much. Every single
I started by saying,
word from her.
I'm not in support of her
Nigerians.
demarketing Nigeria, especially at this time when we are sitting at the volatile aspect of these smear campaigns, bad imaging of Nigeria. I'm not in support. Whatever Nigeria did to her, people have been begging her. We are sorry.
Okay, let me take Queen
again.
From Bonny Camp. Thanks for calling, Queen. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, what I want to say now is just that we in Nigerians who feel we are not good, if we listen to news and watch what is happening, like in Sweden, you see that 15-year-old children are paid to kill. You see children carrying gun into classes and killing. When teachers didn't even do anything to them. And here in Nigeria, we are trying. If you check the histories of America, UK, 200 years ago, you know that they were worse than us. What they did was horrific. But you don't see them shouting. As that man rightly said, somebody was a minister, prime minister there from India. You see the abuses that is happening in India. But he didn't say it. I don't know why Nigeria, when we have a little chance, we want to condemn this country. We are still developing. We are just 60 plus. By the time we reach 100, 200 years of development, definitely we'll see what is happening in other countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Queen. There's an article I wanted to read from Praise for Wowe. When I read that article, I was quite intrigued by his narrative. He called the article, "They called it prison, but it gave me wings." Was it truly a prison, or was it simply a raw and rugged forge, too loud to whisper comfort, yet quietly molding legends? Yes, your secondary school may have lacked air conditioning. The teachers may have been underpaid. The punishments too harsh. But let us not forget, in that same school, someone birthed a dream. A group of girls built a robot. Another girl found her voice in the drama club. A child forgotten
Is that not Okwe School?
Sorry?
FGC Sagamu.
You know, a child forgotten by many taught herself math by candlelight and later solved national problems. You see, every institution has its own flaws. No country, no system holds the monopoly to perfection. Not the UK, not anywhere. Every place you run to comes with its own shadows. There are schools abroad with glittering walls, but grieving hearts. Students with iPads, but no identity. Classrooms with polish, but with no purpose. We must be careful not to curse the soil that grew us simply because it wasn't fragrant. Sometimes the very pain we despise is the pressure that forged our excellence. Sometimes the prison was actually a womb of purpose. Let's be honest, some of us were raised by school walls that didn't pamper, but they planted. The corridors that taught resilience, the stern voices built grit. The lack of luxury birthed creativity, and while the system may fail to love us gently, it trained us loudly. I thought that was deserving. Very well. When I read it, I was like, is this praise? Yes. You know, I was shocked. That was very profound. Yeah. Because you must always see the silver lining in every experience. And I think I agree with what's been said so far. Yes, it was your experience, but what have you done about it? We all have experiences. Now, the person who is interviewing you may not share his own experience because he's probably had his own demons that he had growing up. So people come from different places, but so what you make of it is what the world wants to see.
Okay, so let me talk about the positive part of this whole thing, because I learned a lot. I went through a lot, but I learned at the end of the day, because it helped me transition into the university very well. When I got into university, I didn't need anybody to tell me how to dress my bed, how to do a lot of things, how to survive in an environment like that. I was able to survive very well, because when I even entered, you know, the university, you can cook and all of that. But in school, you know, while you're in school, we tried to make ourselves, because the food they were giving us in the dining was not enough. So you can imagine we started doing a bangé, we'll try and do, you know, mix this and this. We started drinking gari, put everything inside gari, we put milk, Milo, put cabin biscuit and everything. So those were survival instincts. So I was able to go into the university very well, and I survived. And even when I was able to choose my friends, when I entered university, you know, we have groups of friends, but because of where I was coming from, we learned a lot. And keeping our environment and everywhere clean very well. when I was in university, I can remember one period there was no water. Till today, I can take my bath with just a paint bucket of water.
Yeah,
I can manage it and it will go well.
Absolutely.
Need a class
to go well.
Absolutely. I can remember because even I too. So even though yes, we had water, but sometimes we didn't have enough water. So I can bath with half a bowl of water because you gotta shine. You gotta go to school.
NYC camp will teach you to do that.
Yeah. So
my kids now when they go to school, there's no shower.
I think I have a call. It's a commercial break. I think we can wrap up on this.
I was going to say.
Let me go in a commercial. When we come back, I'll let you wrap up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. So we're still talking about Kemi Badenoch and her comments. Abigail had a question?
Yes, I
actually
have a comment. So I like the fact that we Nigerians would like to defend ourselves, and when it comes to image, as it affects those abroad, we like to also portray the good side. Yes, we are united, and we have the goods. We are good people, people who will accept or speak unbiased as regards we Nigerians. They will say we are good people. We are very... In fact, we are forced to reckon with. But then we have our challenges, as everyone says and sees. But then, those challenges, what do we do with them? Do we jump at everyone who attacks us just because, okay, they have in the UK now, so everybody should just accept it the way it is? What are we doing to make sure that years to come, we can look back and say, okay, Kemi said this about our education sector, and 2 years after, this is what is going on in our education sector. Because the reason people like to tell you the truth is so you work on the truth. So what are the advancements going on in the education sector? Nymat talked about alumni fixing schools. It's not their job. There are people paid to do these things. There are people commissioned to do these things. What are they doing with the job given to them when alumni will now be the ones doing this whole stuff? So yes, I like Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I want Nigeria to work. But then the things that are not working, when we hear comments like this, let's work on it and act on it.
Let me come to you for a second, because sometimes I always feel like Nigerians too, we don't ask the right questions, or we don't even go to check. We don't even care because we rather stick with the old narrative. Oh, all the schools are bad. Nothing is doing. What's happening in that country? Because whenever I travel and I sit down with Nigerians, the narrative they're still sharing is narrative of the 90s. You're there everywhere. There's traffic everywhere. The last time I wake up 6:30, I leave my house 6:30. I get to work by 7:30 in an hour because you spend like 3 hours in traffic. I said, what? No, they're Lagos sometimes. But sometimes I get to work in just an hour, So some people use that narrative. So you're saying schools, but the possibility that some schools have actually improved. There are some good principals who have ensured that the budget was used judiciously for the improvement of the infrastructure of the schools. We don't have the data. So another problem we have is that we don't have adequate data feeding back to Nigerians to say, this is happening. Because I had the experience with Lagos State, with Eco Excel. I saw the work they were doing to actually renovate some schools. There's a school in Agege. They built that school with containers, recyclable material. It's still functioning. So some of these things are happening, but because we don't have the data, the information, we always assume, there's no improvement. Maybe we are wrong.
There are exceptions, and we know that there are states and governors that are really doing well. Talk about Lagos State. Let me call the school in my village, Ibotirem in Andoni. Most of those schools, they don't have teachers. School management. Most of the schools are not even registered. So what I am sitting here and talking about is not trying to
generalize,
to even excuse Kemi for what she has done. What are we now going to do to make sure this doesn't happen? Because we don't even have the data.
Hassan has been holding on for a minute. Hassan from Jos, sorry for keeping you. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you. You're live.
I waited 9 minutes to.
So sorry about that. I sincerely apologize.
So let me get at it. And I want to direct this one to our sister Nymat. Is there any legal option that a nation can put a case for a disobedient child, because she's carrying our name, Kemi, and she's at every opportunity she's demarketing Nigeria. Mr. Rishi Sunak, an Indian by instruction, was a prime minister, but I never heard of the time he demarcated India. So now our schools are evolving. I'm not saying our school should be 100%. Like the current governor, Mr. Monday Ofebelo, the school he is refurbishing. The students that were at the school earlier and the ones that will be in now at least there's a sharp contrast, because then it was bad. Now the school are being put back in order. What I'm saying to try to say is that schools evolve. So I'm at least having a little understanding for what she went through, but for her to brand our own school a prison, I take an exception to that. We deserve an apology. Like I feel she deserves to say sorry to a nation that she should be grateful about. And she's carrying our name, Kemi. And the bad news is, I don't know whether it's British or not, but Kemi is proudly Nigerian. If she don't like Nigeria, why would she be carrying a Kemi? And another irony of it is that she cannot do a week without mentioning Nigeria. She's in love with Nigeria, even though her wordings are the other way around.
Thank you very much, Hassan. Thank you very much, Hassan. Any other comments?
Just as you were talking about something must have happened in between the Adegoke and Badenoch switch that Nigerians must have done. Something, a light bulb went up in my head. So Kemi seems to me to be someone who suffers from the inferior complex of being an African.
Yeah.
And when she was an Adegoke, nothing might have happened. In fact, it might be that the British did something to her when she became a Badenoch for her to want to appeal to them at all costs. For her to feel so less of herself that she wants to show them that me too, even though I'm black-skinned, I'm a human being.
Like them.
And before her, there were Nigerians who were married to titled British. And we used to read in the ovations of those days, young Nigerians who married titled British men, who carried themselves with the pride of being Nigerian, who did not apologize. But Kemi seems so apologetic for offending the British for marrying the Badenoch guy that she has to do something. So when Hassan was talking earlier, he mentioned if there's possibility of us doing an action against Kemi. Yes, in the one when she said that her children are not Nigerian citizens. Obviously, she didn't do her research. Obviously, it is, for her to remain in the British news, to remain, Nigerians are everywhere and they're the ones that make news. Now we they let something trend. Now it's our response to this thing now that's making it being heard. The British, they probably have looked at her like, the Prime Minister said to her in Parliament one time that he does not dignify, that Kemi must be deluded to think he called her because she said she had called him to make something happen. And he said, you're not even in my thoughts. Something that's if you're not even, you must be dreaming to think that that's important. The video is online. So she will constantly need the Nigerian victim narrative to be relevant.
Let me take this call from Izuagbe. It's calling from Abuja. Thanks for calling. Izuagbe. You're live. Go ahead, please. Izuagbe, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Very clearly.
The Kemi Badenoch description of Nigerian schools as a prison. We should find out from her how many Nigerian students were in that school that were obese at the time she was there. She doesn't realize that exposing those children to physical exercise, including using that machete to cut grass, enabled them to shed off a lot of weight, and they were not obese. Go and check out what is happening in our UK schools. Find out from her how many children in the UK secondary schools and high institutions that are obese today that the government of the UK is spending a lot of money to control their obesity and sugar problem. That Kemi Badenoch, is it Kemi Badenoch they call her? Honestly, she's the kind of human being that they say she bites the finger that feeds her. She should remember it is the Nigerian blood that runs through her veins. I wonder where she will run to when the time comes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Izobe.
So there's Kemi, or shall we call her Victoria now, has realized she doesn't make the headlines except she migrates Nigeria. She has identity crisis and deep-seated wounds. What she needs is therapy, not a PM job. That's what
Any other comments, social media?
Sorry, my
network is. Someone said, it rains everywhere. Nigeria feet overdue. but no be only Nigeria they do.
Okay.
Another person said that.
Let me take. I think engineer Tijani sent me a message. Let me check it out. It says every society or country had their period of ignorance, and these things happened in the past. Kemi should learn to live with the past and forge ahead. It was a time many people thought it was the only way to discipline, and even parents did not rise against it. Let her leave the past behind and move on. If many Africans had to keep thinking and talking about their past, the cruelty of man to another man during the transatlantic slave trade would lead to unending hatred for the white settlers. She should please expunge Nigeria from her heart and let us breed Haba. Any other comments?
Cecilia says, Rishi Sunak openly and gladly practiced his religion and showcased his Indian cultural heritage, but Kemi, Adegoke Diri, Yoruba people and bad mouth, never misses an opportunity to degenerate Nigeria. I think when she comes home, she can say, Mama, you have to improve your cooking, but not rubbishing her mother to her adopted parents, because no matter what, her mother birthed her and before she got adopted.
Right. Jalil Aziz, echoing what Nymat said earlier, says, good morning, the ladies of Your View. Concerning Kemi's remarks about her prison-like experience in Nigeria secondary school, she needs to be reminded that her alleged experience was a legacy of her adopted country, Britain, under their colonial era in Africa. The popular Ebere, Mole, Kerukoba, she should question her British fellow citizens.
Exactly. So YG says, I once attended a training with a British lady who lived in Nigeria between early 70s. While chatting with her, she said the UK was once worse than Nigeria, that things will get better. My sister went to FGC Akure. I visited that then. Corey Michael was trying to say, I can't find the other tweet. But people are just, saying that, as truth as what she's saying is, it's the use of this narrative. For me, the objective of
you got to use what you have to get what you want.
It's not, you see the British, they are now she has made a mockery of us. Every time she opens them, I think she needs to sit down and she needs to strategize.
It's even the timing.
So what would have worked for her, they made sure that it is something that will always, she's now holding a two-edged sword, cutting herself as much as she's flinging it. So
Can I ask you a question, Nymat? What if this woman becomes prime minister tomorrow? What would you, although you eat your words?
I will be surprised. I'll be happy for her.
You will eat your words, all of you?
No, I will eat it. Wait, I will eat it. I will be surprised. I will be surprised
for her.
With the way
she
she's
might
going,
become prime minister.
It could be a miracle. And then it will be still a disadvantage to her, because then she will just be an object used. Let her win it laudably. Go there and get it without spoiling home. Truly, that Rishi Sunak example will never leave her. And they will always compare her to that. She doesn't even know anything about anything cultural. She doesn't wear her Yoruba heritage proudly anymore. Except but when she's talking, she talks and says she wants to change, and then she slices the country.
Do you know the irony of the whole story?
We can take
to tell us
on today's show.
The irony is, even those abroad want our culture.
On today's show.
Can we chop jollof rice and
a few things as we have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.